Honda's Transalp is a bike with a lot of history. The original Transalp was only imported to North America for a short run at the end of the 80s, although the rest of the world had it from 1987 through 2012. There was much rejoicing when Honda confirmed the new Transalp model in the fall of 2022, and North Americans were even happier when the bike was confirmed for our market a few months later. By fall of 2023, the first machines were on our shores. I got the opportunity to ride the 2024 Transalp for a couple of weeks, covering over 1,000 kilometers. Here's what I found out about the machine along the way. The 4th generation XL750 Transalp is a modern adventure bike. It inherits its 755cc parallel twin engine from the CB750 Hornet, a naked bike that has yet to make it to our shores. The horsepower builds steadily almost through the top of the rev range, but the torque curve has a modest curve, building to its peak about midway through the RPM range, then trailing off. How does it work in the real world? I believe it makes a great touring engine because it is power that doesn't wear you out. Get on the highway with the Transalp and you can tour all day without feeling beat up, all while averaging at least 40 mpg or 13 kmpl. If you watch the throttle, you could probably get 400 kilometers from a tank on this bike, but high speed and wind cuts that potential back a lot. While the Euro spec bike makes 90 horsepower at 9,500 RPM and 55 pound-feet of torque at 7,250 RPM, the US spec bike makes about 83 horsepower at 8,500 RPM due to environmental regulations. In stop-and-go urban traffic, the light slip assist clutch action is so easy that the quick shifter is only something I used as an afterthought. That's standard on the US spec model instead of an extra cost add-on like the competition's bikes. But unless you were hooning through the twisties, I don't think you'd miss it. Kudos to Honda for including it as standard equipment though. The bike's chassis is well matched to this kind of riding. It is equipped with 21 inches front and 18 inches rear spoked wheels, with ample suspension travel. Up front, there's an inverted Showa separate function fork with 7.9 inches of travel. In the back, the shock is also from Showa with spring preload adjustment and 7.5 inches of travel. That's very basic when compared to the fine-tuning built into suspension on board KTM or Husqvarna's bikes in this displacement class or the Tenere 700. But it works because Honda didn't build this bike for fast off-road riding. It is an adventure bike and those options already exist for other riders who want to prioritize off-road performance over on-road comfort. As far as the brakes, nothing remarkable here. A pair of 310mm discs mated to 2 piston calipers up front and a single 256mm disc in the back with single piston caliper. Of all the systems on modern motorcycles, I think that braking has to be the biggest no-brainer, and it's rare for an OEM to get it wrong at this point. In this case, Honda stoppers stop you very nicely, with 2-channel ABS saving your butt in a dicey situation. Along with that ABS system, traction control is also standard, but it should be noted that Honda went with older systems that are not IMU based. This means they are not lean sensitive. The Transalp comes with gravel, rain, standard and sport modes, plus a user-definable mode. They're extremely easy to switch between, something you come to appreciate if you're riding a route that changes between paved and unpaved frequently. On the street, I left the Transalp in sport mode. All the bike's electronic features and settings can be viewed through the machine's 5 inches TFT screen and controlled by left-hand switches. The TFT also shows your speed, fuel level, RPM and other useful data. It gets heated grips with 4 intensity levels, and they're among the warmest OEM grip warmers I've encountered. The Transalp's ergonomics perform well in real-world conditions. At 33.7 inches, the seat height is on par with other adventure bikes. An optional lower seat at 32.6 inches is available as an accessory for shorter riders. The seat's design offers ample room for positional adjustments. The handlebar is sufficiently wide, offering good steering leverage. The rider triangle felt just right. Designed by Honda's Italian R&D team, the Transalp sports an unmistakable Italian flair in its fairing design. Although budgetary considerations led to a non-adjustable windscreen, the aerodynamics are still effective. Throughout my ride, even at highway speeds, I experienced no head buffeting whatsoever. So, who is the Transalp for? This bike is for the rider who's grown up, who did their time on a lumpy single and wants something with roughly the same capability, but better. For the weekday commuter who wants a rural road explorer on the weekend. For the long-distance traveler who values reliability and comfort over performance. For the rider who's had the big bore adventure bikes and has realized the extra power and the accompanying weight weren't necessarily worth the extra expense and other complications. With a base price of slightly under $10,000, I think the Transalp is at the higher end of what a younger rider can afford, and for an older rider who's price comparing. The MSRP looks pretty attractive when you realize jumping to the next engine displacement class is going to cost you another $5,000 or more. The Transalp is a motorcycle that doesn't ask you to choose between worlds. Instead, it encourages you to explore them all. What are your thoughts on the Transalp 750 from Honda? Let me know in the comments section below. If you liked this video, then smash that like button, and if you'd like to catch more motorcycle news and content, consider subscribing to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one.